Welcome back, everyone, to my podcast, Steve Sully Study. As everyone knows, my two favourite topics to talk about is business and boxing. I think there's a synergy between the mindset of a boxer or a fighter to the mindset of a business person. Sometimes in business, you're attacking and things are going well, and then sometimes in business, things are not going so well. You need to cover up and weather the storm. And when I get to speak to boxers or business people, these are the conversations I'm really passionate about. And I've got a thoroughbred fighter, boxer, and I believe future world champion in front of me, Jordan Reynolds. Thank you very much for coming on board the podcast, mate.
Yeah, sweet, bro. Cheers for having me on, mate.
No problem.
Listen, boxing business, this boxing game is a business.
It is.
So it's mad, mate. It's mad. It's all about branding yourself. And yeah, mate, thanks for having me on.
No problem. So I think right now is not only a big time for boxing, British boxing, but I also would say for the traveller community, because in the next few weeks and next few months, you've got Billy Joe Saunders fighting for the unifying Canelo with Canelo, and then you've got the Gypsy King Tyson Fury, who's fighting Joshua, I think in June or July.
Yeah, June. That's everything goes sweet. But mate, what, like, I'll be honest, with the travelling background, they run the amateur scene. They have some talent, very, very talented kids. You don't really never see them in the pro game, but now you're seeing the talent come through, and the travelling lads, they're holding on now for a bit longer because they can see what can be made for this boxing, and that's thanks to Billy Joe, Andy Lee, and the likes of Tyson Fury as well. So they've really set the path, not just for the traveller community, but for everyone, really, mate. Do you know what I mean?
I think so. I mean, and I think what really helps is they're very big personalities as well. You know, they're go-getters, and they seem to be fearless, even though they are human.
Yeah, they're realists, mate.
Yeah.
What they say is what they think, and it's as simple as that. There's no, like, you kind of know what you're going to get with the lads. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to say one thing and do another. Do you know what I mean? They're quite real and honest. So that's what's great about it. And do you know what? Like I said, boxing is a business, and they're entertaining to watch. You know what I mean? You never know what's going to happen, mate. Like, if you don't like something, he's going to say something. Yeah. So it's great to see in press conferences and fights and things like that. So, but it's interesting, like you said, you got Billy Joe versus Canelo. That's a very good fight. Like, do you know what I mean? Styles make fights. Do you know what I mean? You got that there, and then you got Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua. That's two of the biggest fights this year. Do you know what I mean?
If I was asked the question, who's going to win out of Tyson Fury and Joshua, I would always say Tyson Fury, because he's, I believe, a better boxer. Yeah, Don't get me wrong. There's always that heavyweight power. So someone like Joshua could land a clean punch and it could be like lights out. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo, that is a harder one for me to call, because I think Billy Joe Saunders has the skill set to beat him. But for some reason, Canelo always finds a way. But I was then going to say in the same breath, travellers always find a way to win. Yeah. You can never ever write off a traveller. They always seem to win because I think you guys, you know, just anyone who is a traveller is just hard as nails, not just physically, but the emotions and the mentality. They always find a way.
Always find a way, and they're like, as young kids, they're like young men. They go to work early. Do you know what I mean? They go to school for a few years, then boom, 13, 14. They're off on the grounds, mate, doing the groundwork, mate, and they're getting man strength at an early age. Do you know what I mean? So, but the only thing I think Billy Joe, if anyone's going to beat Canelo, it's going to be Billy Joe. The only thing what would worry me about is just the activity of build. That's the only thing what could play his downfall. But he always rises to an occasion. He's an unbelievable natural talent. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's beat some lads like Eubank, things like that. Like, he was messing about. Do you know what I mean? And it just shows how much talent he's got. Do you know what I mean? So now that he's had a proper camp, he's got great people around him. He knows this fight is gonna put him in the history books. Do you know what I mean? I think you want to see the best Billy Joe, but does not living the good life, living the boxer's life, catch up on the night? Does it show with Canelo? Canelo's been active, mate, and it's not like he's just boxed at like middle, and then he's stopping. When do you ever see someone stop like heavyweights of 11 things like that? Do you know what I mean? So he is a freak of nature. But if anyone's going to beat him, I must say it's going to be Billy Joe. Well,
look, I'm no boxing expert, but I do have a passion for it, and I do watch it a lot. And I think if you look at any fight that Canelo's had problems with, I mean, the clear one is Mayweather. If you stay away from him, not trying to get into a brawl, and you box him, you're going to have I mean, look at Larson. I think Larson in my view, beat him.
Yeah.
And Kovalev was winning up until he got knocked out. I think he was winning, and he was keeping him moving. Yeah, keeping him feet. Yeah,
Billy Joe's feet, hand speed, changing off of the angles, winning the fight. As soon as he can't stand there for more than a second.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like the way Billy Joe to be able to beat Canelo is just to be Billy Joe.
Yeah,
but the best of Billy Joe, and that's it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what he's got to do. Do you know what I mean? So like,
who was the guy who famously done that?
David Lemieux.
Yeah. So if he boxes like that against Canelo, I think he can.
Exactly, and like I feel like he would even do even better because really, like David Lemieux, great fighter, but he weren't really on the same level as Billy Joe. So sometimes you go down to their level a bit, where we know that Canelo's up there, world class. So you're just going to rise to the occasion. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, mate, it's just going to be. I can't wait. And like you said, like the Tyson Fury fights. Like I know AJ or something, GB or things like that with him. And I was with Tyson Fury a few weeks ago. Do you know what I mean? Him and his dad was giving me great advice after my fight and before my fight. Lovely people cheering me on as I was going to the ring. But I can see it. Tyson Fury, he's a special man. Whenever you want to see, what do you do with someone who's 7 foot tall, hands like a lightweight, can punch, can move, can do everything? What do you do with someone like that? Do you know what I mean? Like the only thing he's got to be careful is they don't get caught cold or caught early, because that's the early rounds is going to be dangerous. Because Joshua, like, no matter what criticism we give him and whatnot, mate, he's done great in the sport. All right, definitely, he's done great in the sport. He's set the path for some of these younger generations, things like that. But I just think he's a freak in nature. Tyson Fury's got to be in his A game. And be, eyes on the ball 24/7, especially in the early rounds, because he could get caught clean. Do you know what I mean? Like Tyson Fury, Joshua is strong, mate. I've seen him spar, mate. He can hit hard. Yeah, he can hit hard. So he's just got to do. It could, it could be another Fury versus Wilder again.
Yeah,
if I'm honest, mate.
I think
it's that kind of fight, because Joshua's just more technical, but he's dangerous.
Yeah,
he's dangerous, and Fury's clever at taking. What they're good at away from them. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, mate, it's exciting. I
think if I not that I would ever would, but if I was in one corner, then the next. So if I was giving advice to Joshua, then to Fury, it would be polar opposite advice. With Fury, I'd be like, don't let your ego get in front of you. Don't try and knock him out. This is about points. And if you outpoint him and beat him every single round, you'll walk through this. Joshua, do not try and box him. You need to rough him up.
Take him to the trenches.
You need to bash him up.
Yeah.
And because of that, them two styles coming together, we should see quite an interesting fight.
For fireworks, but then it's like, then you look at all the other parts. Can Joshua keep that momentum up for 12 rounds? Because he's got to take it old school, mate. He's got to rough. He's got to be inside. He's got to be a bit dirty. Do you know what I mean? He's got to be hitting. Do you know what I mean? He's got to play the game. So to do that 12 rounds with the size of how Joshua is, he's very muscle bound. It's a big ask.
Yeah.
Where Fury's happy to Fury. He's so athletic, mate. Like, it's mad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And the feints and stuff.
The feints,
and the head movement,
the little triggers, the angles. What do you do with someone like that? Like, imagine him like, oh mate. I won't go near him, mate. We've been having an argument with him in the pub. I would look at him and think, oh, mate. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So, he's it's a good fight. It's a good fight. And
so let's talk about you then. So obviously you've had one professional fight so far. Obviously won that. I didn't realise how big you were going to be when you walked through that door. You're actually a really, really tall fella. So what weight class are you in?
I'm under a middleweight. I'm quite a good size at middleweight, but I've just hired a nutritionist and a strength coach and things like that, and a great team now. And the weight's coming off. Like, I'm weighing lighter now than I was a week for my fight. So I might even go down to light middleweight and be a big light middleweight. Boxing, it makes sense, be big for the weight, and the division's open. And business terms, light middleweight, win a few titles, then go up to middleweight, 2-weight champion. Do you know what I mean? So, but we see how it is. It's different. 12 rounds. You've got to keep that. You've got to keep your fitness there and don't fatigue and things like that. So I see how I feel. But yeah, I would like to go down to light middleweight and say about that division for sure.
So the ambition is quite simple, just to become world champion, undisputed world champion, and then just try and move up a few weights.
Yeah, straight. But you know what it is, mate? Like, listen, I'm a working class kid. come from nothing, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like we had hard growing up. Do you know what I mean? Me and the family. So
you from a large family?
Huh?
Large family?
Yeah. Like big family. Dad's side's got 5 brothers and loads of cousins. My mum's side's big family. But it's like most lads, mate. Council estate. We ain't brought up with nothing, mate. Do you know what I mean? And like we went to a stage where we was homeless and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? So it was hard. So my first priorities is changing the generation's life of my my nephews and things like that, because I was the kid at school, could never go on these holidays and do this, so I had to hustle for my own money to pay for my own school debts and things like that. So that's horrible, mate. Like, that was hard. It was hard. My kids, my nephew would never have to suffer that, never have to go without. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, won't spoil them. I don't like spoil brats, mate. I don't like them, mate. But make them appreciate and not make sure they don't have to suffer. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, mate, become financially free is the goal for sure, mate. Like anyone who says, "Oh no, I just want to afford the belts," and whatnot, mate, it's a hard game.
Yeah,
you're getting hit in the head, mate. It's taking not just years off your career, it's taking years off your life, mate. It's hard. The sacrifices, the hours, and mate, we're on it 24/7, mate. Like I said, you're putting in shifts in the gym. And you're going back home, and then you've got to be doing these podcasts. You've got to be going out the media stuff. You've got to be branding yourself. You've got to be meeting people. It don't stop, mate. It don't stop. So, yeah, like, listen, I'm coming for the titles and things like that, and do whatever. Like, I've always set out to do what people say I can never do, and I've always done that. So, yeah, mate, like, win these titles and just set my family up, mate. Simple as that. Set my life up.
That's wicked. So you're in a pro game now. Amateur wise, how many fights did you have?
Done well in the amateurs, mate. I started boxing late, 16, had 112 fights, 98 wins, won the ABAs, the NABCs, Best of British, multi-nation camps, international tournaments, you name it. Done well, mate. Like, England captain, represented my country 10, 11 times, never lost for my country. Then when I got into the Olympic team, done 4 years with them. Obviously, the Olympics was supposed to be last year. I'm in an RM, what was going on, mate? Made sense of pro gamers now. I've done my pedigree, done my apprenticeship. I'm 26 now.
Yeah.
I thought it was this. I've got 5-6 years in the game. This have it. Do you know what I mean?
So I was an amateur. I boxed for Bromley and Downham. I've never gone pro, but I fought on the Queensberry League, which Ross Mentor ran. Hopefully, I'm meant to have a few more fights. I'm 35 years of age now, so it's a bit more of a challenge, a hobby, and something that keeps me sort of focused, and it helps me with my business and stuff. And it allows me to meet other, boxers. If I'm boxing, I can meet other boxers where I can have a podcast interview, for example, which is really good. But for the audience that doesn't know the difference between amateur and pro, what would you say is the kind of the main difference? Obviously, the rounds and stuff, but the mindset, the fighting style, what kind of
it's changing now.
What kind of differences are there?
It's changing now because boxing's getting moved to like how it was. So just in general, the whole of boxing, amateur and pro, is moving more back how it used to be in old school. Because it's pandemic and that, you're seeing now early fights. Everything's 50-50 fights now. There's all good fights. Do you know what I mean? So, but the amateurs is starting to move like the pros now because obviously we don't wear the head guards and things like that. But back in the day, it was more like fencing. Not getting hit. It's more like a bit of an art. Do you know what I mean? It's more, it's...
No one was trying to knock each other out. It was about hitting and then moving away.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But now it's different, mate. It's different. It's different. So especially when you go to European countries, it's like 3 rounds having a fight. Pro game, it's rough, tough. You could be the best. You could be a great boxer. 5-6 rounds, win the fight. Then physicality takes over. Then the other fella comes on top. So you got to have all the attributes. You got to be an all-rounded fighter. You can't just be one-dimensional. You get found out, or you just get to a certain level. So
that was going to be my next question. What makes not just a good boxer, but a great athlete? What would you say? The strength, durability, fitness?
Your mindset. Living the life, mate. Living the life. Choosing the hard road, mate. The hard road, going down the hard road, mate. And I think, the hard road always leads to freedom. So yeah, and analysing the game, mate. Like, you need plan A, you need plan B, you need plan C. There's no point. Being a comfortable fighter, and you fight someone who's stronger than you. What do? You're gonna, what I mean? You're stuck. So it's just to be an all round fighter. Work on your weaknesses and be happy being alone, because it's a lonely sport, mate.
Yeah,
it's a hard, lonely sport, and you've got to be content and happy with yourself, because Do you know what? You get these days when you're on your own, you have a bad spars and whatnot, but the only person who's going to pat you on the back, mate, is yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No one else is going to go, oh, Sean, it's all right. You're the only person who lift you up, mate. So you've got to be positive, mate. You've got to be positive, and you've got to keep that mindset of believing you're going to get where you want to get to.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's half the battle, mate. It all comes down to your mind, mate. 99% your mind.
That's fully resonate with that, because I think if you're in my background is in sales as a profession, and thankfully I've done all right at sales. Got a company here, got sales guys upstairs, boxing. I used to play squash, football, everything. And across the whole entire board, the main thing that separates you from anybody else is your mindset. But then it's also about your work rate. And then it's also about your skill set and that kind of stuff. Coming from the amateurs, then into the pro game, what kind of things have you worked on to become a better pro? I'll tell you why I say this, because when I used to fight for Bromley and Downham, there was a guy called Reg Foster who used to run it. Reg and Richard Foster, great people. But their mindset was get really, really fit, do loads of running, which is great, but stay away from weights because it makes you slow.
Old school mentality.
But then when you are going into the pros, even though I'm not a pro, I train with Charlie Beat, who just took Shannon Courtney to a world title. He's my trainer. And he started, when I started training with him, power, learning how to develop power.
Yeah.
And that for me was the main difference between amateur training to pros, the power. So have you worked on more?
Yeah, 100%, because you got to imagine, like, it's a different game. Like, pro game is more like a marathon. So you're doing longer runs, you're doing your shape, you're doing explosive stuff. With the amateurs, it's 3 threes. You're not just going to plod around, mate. If you lose the first round, you're playing catch up. So everything's explosive. So everything is about not rushing, taking your time, settling your feet. No, you got 12 rounds. You don't have to go winning every single round ASAP. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to panic. Set little traps. We've got time to work on things. So just the main thing is just slowing things down, mate.
Yeah,
that's the main thing, because when you're in the amateurs, it's like everything's 100 miles an hour. Do you know what I mean? Boom, 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 boom. It's dangerous in the pros, man. You can't keep that up for 12 rounds.
Yeah,
you can't keep that up for 6 rounds. Do you know what I mean? So things like that, and then like you said, like, because you're doing longer rounds and whatnot, you've got to do more conditioning to your body, and it's everything, mate. It's not just the conditioning. When you're not conditioning, then there's sometimes less is more. Then you got your recovery.
Yeah,
you got your recovery's key, mate. Your ice baths, your stretching, mate. I've stretched every day, mate. I hate it. I do it like I love it.
Yeah, do
you know what I mean? Stretching, your yoga. You know what I mean? Your Pilates, everything, mate.
Well, Charlie Beats says the same sort of thing. So I used to, and I think this was more like an alpha male type mindset, which is train every single day, no days off. And he said to me, nah, that's just shit mentality, because if you train every single day and don't give yourself some time to recover, you'll burn out. Yeah. He said what you're better off doing is training as many times, but doing twice a day sometimes, and then having a few days off.
Yeah, sure.
So like condensing 7 or 8 training sessions into a few of the days you double up, and then you have like, I don't know, a Sunday and a Thursday off, and therefore you recover. And do you know what? That was only recent advice he gave me in the last few months, and I feel 10 times better.
I feel better, mate.
Because when I used to get up every single morning early and batter myself, by the end of the week I was fucked.
And you get up in the morning, you think, oh, mate.
And I started thinking negatively.
Negative, because your body's in bits, you're drained, mate. Do you know what I mean? You're mentally and physically drained, so you need to have that, like I said, less is more sometimes. Do you know what I mean? You don't want, especially when you got come up to a fight and things like that, it's like you don't want to believe in your best self in the gym. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you can get fit. You're gonna get fit for a fight through sparring and running. So 3 times a week, twice a week, mate. You got your sparring and your running, and then the rest of the days you do your conditioning and you work on your technical side.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I think, listen, at the end of the day, everyone's individual. Everyone's different. I think the best thing to do is listen to your own body and listen to yourself. What you think's best for you. Like what you feel. If you feel wrecked, mate, or you got a niggle or an injury, go. Do you know what? Take a step back. Do something else what's going to benefit you. Work on something else, and then go hard the next day or something like that. So, but all this stuff, mate, comes with experiences. Because I used to be mad for it, mate. I was training. When I started boxing late, I was training twice a day, hard. Boom, injuries. Recover, then go back hard, and do you know what I mean? So it's something step back.
Cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle, mate. So I needed someone to go, oh, chill out. You need to chill. Less is more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So when I was doing that, mate, I was like, cool, mate. Like, so I'm training less.
Yeah.
And I'm fitter. Yeah. Stronger. Do you know what I mean? I'm clear-minded. So It's a mad show. It's a mad old sport.
So, like, the professional boxing game has always been a tough sport. I mean, if you look in history, you can see all the greats. But and nutrition has always been a big part of it. But I feel now, in the last 5 years or so, maybe if not longer, it seems to be that the nutrition's come leaps and bounds. How important is it to feed your body with the right stuff?
It's key, mate. It's key, especially like.
And you can tell the difference, you know.
100%, mate. Like now, I've switched everything up, mate. Like I've switched everything up, right? And I was doing middleweight. I was making middleweight comfortably, but now, like I said, with the full-time nutritionist and at PWR, Rick sorts it out. I'm eating 4 times a day, drinking 4 or 5 litres a day, and the weight's flying. I think to myself, I was ringing him, thinking, "You sure? Like, are you sure?" Because I was always told the old school way. Do you know what I mean? Not eat this, all that. He was like, "Nah, you got to carb up." So it's key, mate. You need to. At the end of the day, your body's like a car. You got to fuel it. You got to You got to service it. You got to look after it. Otherwise, it's not going to perform when you go out and drive it.
It's great advice and great analogy.
Yeah. That's how it is, mate. So, yeah, like you wouldn't if you're putting bloody diesel in a petrol car, mate. It's just going to last so long, innit? Do you know what I mean? So that's how I see it, mate. But don't get me wrong, mate. We're humans. Balance, mate.
Yeah.
Balance. Like I'm so balanced, mate. Like I got a sweet tooth, I have a bit of chocolate, a bit of sweets. I know when to cut it out. But then again, like I know I'll go vegan. I'll go vegan. But then I'm like, all right, steak, chicken. So it's like whatever works for you. Do you know what I mean? But like you gotta be ticking the boxes though, because all these little things, your sleep, your nutrition, your recovery,
sports therapy,
all that. These are all the 1%.
Yeah,
the 1%, mate. And all these 1%. I was named 4 or 5 then. That's 5% there.
Yeah,
which I was doing, which is 5% better than I was on my last camp. Do you know what I mean? So, and then. It always comes. It leads down to your mindset as well, because if you could do all this stuff, babe, but if your mindset ain't in the right frame of mind, mate, you got no chance, mate. Especially in this game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, bro? You get through it for a couple of rounds, mate, and then it starts creeping up, mate. Things get hard in the ring, mate. You look for a way out.
I remember when I was 14 when I started boxing. I went down to so I was a little bit of a latecomer as well, I would say, because normally all the best boxers start when they
7, 8,
and I went down to Bromley and Downham, and I think my first ever session, they threw me in sparring. I had no idea what I was doing, and I was quite big for my age when I was younger. Not so much now, but when I was 14, I was like a 16-year-old or 17-year-old, and they put me in with this guy called what was his name? Saint Simpson. I remember he was like a short bulldog, and he absolutely battered me, and I was almost like, why have you done that to me? And they said, we want to see if you turn up next time, because we know if you turn up next time, you've got the right mindset. And that's never left me. I thought, right, if you can get battered, weather it, you need and then come back.
You need that, mate. Because I was like, before I went in the gym, I used to do a bit of Thai boxing, things like that when I was younger. So because I was a bit of a chubby kid, believe it or not, as a kid, right? So I tried to do it to lose a bit of weight, but then I stopped. I was always fighting on the streets and things like that. So I always had this little bit of ego, this chip on my shoulder. And I remember going to a boxing gym, a pro gym. And I went in there and I was like, I want to spar. And boxing is completely different to street fighting, mate. Do you know what I mean? And Graham L, pro trainer, was like, mate, he said, you never box? I said, nah, I want to spar. I was hitting the bag. I was like, nah, I want everyone's in the ring. Do you know what I mean? So I kept asking every week. So he just put me in the ring with this like a lightweight. Mate, I couldn't believe he put me down with a body shot. And I thought to myself, he put me down about 2 or 3 times. I just thought to myself, it just hooked me, mate. Yeah, it actually just hooked me. Something clicked, and I thought to myself, I'm never going to let this happen to me again. Do you know what I mean? And then you realise how much it's an art. I'm doing this, kids. I was like, mate, I'll do anything, mate. I'm going to say about you, mate. Do you know what I mean? And then it's like, boom. I'm thinking, how are you doing this?
Yeah.
Like, how are you doing this? You're like, what the hell? Like, but you realise, mate, like your hands and feet are not talking, and you're all over the place, and they're just sticking to their jab and straight shots and placing their body shots. I'm thinking, I'm all over the gap.
Yeah.
So I think, like, that either makes or breaks you, man. When times get hard, do you know what I mean? You either think, wow, this is for me, or it's not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because when I went to box West Ham, the first day I went there was the hardest day ever. Like I literally remember going back to the train station, just sitting there thinking, mate, I was ruined, mate. I had to let the train go past, mate. I couldn't even walk. But it was that, because it was so hard and like everything was so new and we had to learn. That's what Georgia. Do you know what I mean? So, but then some people, they're not about that, mate. Do you know what I mean? It separates. Do you know what I mean? It's not for everyone, mate.
Yeah, you find out what people are made of and their minerals the moment they get punched in the face. I mean, the old saying by Mike Tyson is everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. And I think if you can weather pain and you can compose yourself without losing your cool, you can take that mindset and that philosophy into business life, into anything in life. Sure. And I think it really sets you up and gives you a core kind of, how can I say, you're kind of methodical with what you do. Yeah, for sure, I think it's a really good thing. I
because I used to be like, if something happened, like boom, like I could never I'm so bad at arguing. Like, I couldn't argue with someone. I just have to get it sorted. I couldn't argue. But now it's like with the boxing and things like that, it's like you can't
off the duck's back.
Chill, mate. Chill, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's everything's sweet, like so. Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Listen, I think boxing saves a lot of kids as well. Boxing's a great sport, but like you said, it gives you another mind frame of your business sense, and you meet so many people as well. But it just gives you a different view in life and things like that as well. I think personally,
definitely. So let's talk about let's say fights then. In your weight, or have you got anyone that you got your eye on, which you think, you know what, he's a bit tasty, but I'm gonna have him over.
Do you know what? Like in the middle, because my first fight was at middleweight, so like. I was looked already in the top 10. I've beat a few of these lads already, like Linus and things like that. He's the English champion. They're all like top 8, 7, 6 in the country. So I think to myself, mate, I want them now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll be happy to take it next week, even though it'll be my second fight. But obviously the pedigree's there. And, do you know what I mean? But you can't rush. And that's where I got MTK Global to go, chill out, Jordan, mate. Do you know what I mean? Build up. Do you know what I mean? Don't rush. So yeah, like it's nothing personal to anyone, mate. Honestly, like
it's all business.
It's just business. I'm going down to weight, so whoever's got the titles, mate, I'm coming for. It's as simple as that, and it's nothing personal. It's just business. At the end of the day, I just see it as they're taking food off my table, mate, and I will get through to get to where I need to get to, and it's as simple as that.
Talk to me about your style.
Style is box fighter. I'm a box fighter, big body punchers in the amateurs. Stopped a lot of kids with body shots, especially going up into the amateurs. But I can do a bit of everything. Like I can adapt. Do you know what I mean? Like I've boxed.
Orthodox.
Right. Orthodox. I should be southpaw. I'm left-handed, right-footed, so I'm a bit all over the gap. Yeah. So I am comfortable southpaw, but yeah, orthodox, left hand, big shot. Yeah, like I like to get stuck in. I like to get stuck in, but the boxing ability is there. Do you know what I mean? Like, get behind my jab and things like that. Like I'm disciplined, mate. Like my pro debut, I could have jumped on the geezer and got him out there and made it like forced it. Do you know what I mean? But I thought to myself, mate, I wobbled him. I thought to myself, just keep it sweet.
Yeah.
Get the rounds in. I was clear headed. I thought, right, 6 rounds. Get the rounds in. If he comes again, because he went in the second round, his legs were gone. I just thought, now it's on chill, mate. Do you know what I mean? So it's and these times, these early fights are so key, mate.
Yeah.
Especially, like, I'm a big ticket seller, mate. Like, as an amateur, I was selling 700-800 tickets at your call and things like that. So I've got a great following. When the pro game comes, and I can sell thousands of tickets or whatever it is, I need to know, right, I've wobbled him now, but I've got to be careful.
Yeah.
Got to chill, because that's sometimes when you're vulnerable and trying to jump on and load up, mate, you get caught yourself. So,
well, it's a bit like Joshua when we knocked down Ruiz.
That's what I'm saying, mate. That's what I'm saying. I was like, oh, he's out, and he jumped him again, and boom. So you need these rounds are so key, and like that 6 rounds I've done there, even if I've done 6, 8, 10 rounds in the gym, you won't learn nothing more than being in there by doing that. Do you know what I mean? So like, I come out of that fight, and I was chilled. I was happy. I was like, I couldn't have gone better. Couldn't have gone really better, really, because I showed that I could box, I showed that I could punch, I showed that I could do pressure. But main thing was I got through the rounds being clever, raising the tempo, not just rushing in.
Yeah.
Things like that. So yeah, it's a learning game. I'm still learning. Do you know what I mean? Like,
got any fights lined up?
June, they want me out June the 25th, I believe. They want me out. They want the crowds back for me, mate.
Yeah.
They want me putting bums on seats. I'm telling you, I can't wait. But
I'm definitely gonna have to come.
Come up, mate. Yeah, I'm hoping. Listen, I mean, rumours they might be in London. So if it's London, mate, it'd be
great.
Oh, it'd be great, mate. It'd be great. Alf's trying to hold these ringside tickets. Same ringside. So yeah, listen, it's gonna be some big nights ahead, mate. So this pandemic or whatnot, mate, we all need something to look forward to.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Little release, little night out, whatever. So, and I can't wait to.
We need crowds back at boxing. I mean, most sporting events are not the same without crowds. And I've been enjoying boxing without crowds because I like to hear the punches land.
Yeah.
Which has been nice.
I said that. Yeah, you can hear them.
Yeah. And I've got to be honest, I like boxing when there's crowds, but I actually do like watching it on TV because I love the commentary. I think it makes it.
Yeah,
sometimes when you're in a room and you see two geezers fighting, it's great.
But you get one angle of it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
And I like the replays, the slow motions, because if you're a proper fanatic of boxing, you like to see the sweet little moves and the science that you won't see probably there.
Yeah, for sure.
So on TV you get to see that, but at the end of the day, getting people back in these stadiums is so important.
Poor mate, and especially for some fighters rely on that support. Yeah. As in that's what drives them. That's what drives them to win.
Lifts your energy.
It lifts them. Or some fighters are not privileged where they've not done too well in amateurs or they've not got nothing in their background, so they need to be out fighting to sell tickets. Do you know what I mean? They rely on the ticket sales for them to be out. So it's been hard for people. But I said these times here have separated the weak from the strong. Who really wants it and who don't want it?
I couldn't agree more.
From boxing to business to life in general, mate. Because I know so many people, they want this as an excuse. And you've heard it all growing up. I'm sure you have. Oh, I could have been a boxer, but I found drink, or I could have been a boxer, but women. Or I could have been a boxer, but coronavirus.
Yeah.
Fuck that, mate. No chance, mate. Do you know what I mean? There's no excuses. It's just it's now or never, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Mate, lockdown's been a blessing for me, mate. I've probably had the best lockdown. I've been busy, mate. Busy on the grind, mate. So it hasn't stopped. So, like I said, this pandemic, the lockdown separates the weak from the strong.
I used to sponsor before he went into part-time retirement. Now he's back out. Bradley Skeet.
Lovely geezer. Yeah.
Beautiful guy. He's such a good guy.
He's fighting soon, isn't he?
He is, yeah. And he's gone up to Sheffield now. But he used to be at iBox where Al Smith.
That's wrong with Al now, yeah.
Oh, you with Al?
Al and Eddie.
Yeah, I know Al well. And Al used to say this saying, and I always remember it. This is not a rehearsal. You got one shot at it.
Yeah, for sure.
And life is like that. So Corona or not, recession or not, things going well or not, you have to make sure that you use the time wisely. If you don't, you're going to look back and regret it.
Yeah, for sure.
And Corona, like you said, is separated the people that really want it to the people that just talk about it.
Talk about it, mate. You see it you see it every day, do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's mad. Mate, do you know what? Lockdown ain't been bad for me. I've actually I think because I enjoy my own company, I've just done my own thing.
Yeah.
Done my own thing, mate. I've started little business ventures. I just made the most out of this. I suppose you made the most out of a bad situation, do you know what I mean? But obviously it's affected some people. It's been hard, but
I just, personally for me, I was very, very fortunate that my industry or my sector, the art sector, with what I deal with, is booms, because where people are losing money out of ISAs, bonds, stocks and shares, they're buying things like blue chip art to preserve their money and make money. So we thrived. But at the same time, we've had to still be on our A game to realise the opportunity. Yeah. And if we would have just said, "Oh,"
we could have gone to sleep.
Yeah, if I would have just said, nothing's going to happen this year, or believe,
let's get don't worry about it. I'll just go on furlough.
Yeah, or believing in what the media was saying, that everything's going to collapse.
Oh man, fear mongering, mate.
Yeah,
but listen, we can go deep about this stuff, mate, because
I'm with you.
Yeah, mate, because it's proxy way of doing it.
It's a liberty.
Don't get wrong, right? If there's COVID or what, it's a thing out there. But the lockdowns, mate, that's a hoax, mate. You can't do that to people, mate.
It's terrible.
You can't do it. The lockdown is killing more people than
suicides,
the virus, mate.
Suicides, people losing their jobs.
Man, what about these kids? What about these kids that are suffering at home and their parents abusing them? Like that? Their only escape was to go out, to go to school, things like that. Now they're locked in with them, mate.
Yeah.
Ain't no good. It's all about the next generation, mate. Think about the next generation coming up, mate, because these things here, mate. It was hard anyway. This is getting hard, mate, for the generation. Now, mate, can you imagine the next generation have no social skills?
Yeah.
It's hard to talk to kids now.
Yeah.
Because they're stuck in their phone. Let your kids go out, mate. Play a bit of knock up ginger. Let kids be kids. It's Jesus.
Yeah.
At least they have something about them.
Of course.
But it's parents going, my kid's got mental health. It's their own fault, because what's going on is the kids are playing up and they're going, well, I'm not listening because I'm not teaching the kids discipline. So they're going, here's a phone. Go in your house, go in your room, and sit in there. So you're just on the phone, and they're comparing.
And they can't communicate.
They can't communicate, and they're comparing their lives to this fake world, Instagram world. These fake people, and this is where it's like a vicious circle, mate.
I'm on the same page as you. Look, coronavirus. Yeah, I'm gonna accept it's a real thing. Is it that deadly? Absolutely not.
Well, when it's a 98.9 survival rate, I could get shot, but then be tested for COVID in the next 28 days and then put down as COVID. What's going on?
And look, listen.
What's your views on that? What do you think? Like, do you think it's like they've kind of pushed more on the COVID situation and the lockdown to bring in digital money, to a bit of controlment, a bit of the state?
I honestly believe it's a money thing.
Yeah.
Personally, I mean, hand on heart, I believe it's a money thing. I think
give it cash.
No, I think number one to vaccinate people. I think it's going to make them a lot of money. I think they're going to tee people up to say, okay, you got this vaccination. Oh, here's a new variant. Have another vaccination. And I think the front of it is about that, but then I think there's multiple other things which we could talk about hours on end, which are going to dovetail off the back end of it. But like you, I think, okay, the first lockdown, semi see where they're coming from because it's a new thing and they panicked. I get that.
Sure, yeah.
But to do 2, 3 after you got all the data, no.
There's different strains.
Yeah. And also, if we know it's only going to be affecting one type of demographic, which is the people who've got an impaired immune system, which is predominantly the older people that have had cancer and everything else.
Like they have flu.
Shut them indoors. Yeah. Shut them indoors.
We'll give them a choice if they want to go out and risk it.
Yeah.
So why is everyone's got even now, I don't understand is, so if you do get the vaccine, you've still got to isolate, you've still got to wear a mask. What's this?
Something doesn't seem right to me.
What's like it's like they're, I don't know, mate. It's mad. It's the first time in history the government and the police because the government and the police are under us, mate. They work for us. Do you know what I mean? Like they can't tell us what you have to stay indoors. I had people panicking. People. If you're not open-minded, don't get me wrong. Like it's hard. And if you live by the news, then listen, I've lost friends and family over it, mate. I'm sure you can. Do you know what I mean? Because listen, everyone has their own opinion on it, but if you live in your life, believe in the news and the government wants the best interest in your life, mate, you're in for a long ride in this life, mate.
I always say the same. So, like, my mum and dad, even though they get along, completely, they're divorced, and they can be in the same room, they chat and everything else. They get along really well, but their belief system is completely different. My dad, his God is the mainstream media. Like he absolutely praises it. Yeah. He believes everything that comes up on that screen, and if it's not on the screen, it's not true. Yeah. My mum's on the other side. She's like, no, that doesn't make sense because of X, Y, Z, and then she researches.
Research.
She does her research. And where was I going with this? Where was I going?
You go down a rabbit hole.
So, I've done this a few times where I'm talking about something and then forgot. But yeah, so like my dad won't choose to do any kind of research for himself. He'll just listen to the mainstream media and whatever said on it is gospel. Whereas my mum will listen to something and go, don't know if that's right. Let me research it, and then she'll come back and say, well, no, this is where I was going to. So if the government, right, has got your best health interests at heart, ask yourself this one question. Why are they the same government that allow you to smoke cigarettes that gives you cancer?
Exactly, all right. Mate,
money.
Of course it's all money, mate. Back in the day, they were advertising. They were advertising adverts to smoke nicotine. It's good for you. And things like that. Listen, mate, I can go down a hole, mate.
Yeah.
Because
do you know what I'm really happy about? You're a pro athlete. I've seen people like Brian Jennings, who was a heavyweight, he was a vegan boxer who fought Klitschko, who's been on my podcast.
Yeah.
Who was on Game Changers on the documentary.
Yeah.
That guy.
The vegan, Netflix.
Yeah. Great guy. He came here to do a podcast. And then someone I haven't spoken to, but someone that I follow, Anthony Fowler. Yeah. It's great that athletes are now speaking out about this sort of stuff because previously, they were a little bit afraid of their own profile being damaged because they were speaking, let's say, the truth. But now I think more and more people are coming forward to say, look, something's not right here.
Of course, mate. Listen, I went to a protest Saturday, was it? Over nearly a million people.
Yeah.
Not on the news. I can guarantee one person there didn't have a vaccine. Well, no one's wearing masks. But it's funny, the people who are watching the news and things like that, they're the ones who are getting the COVID, and they're the ones who know people that are dying. It's mad. It's mad. It's all mad, mate. And I feel sorry for the next gen. Listen, it's put my career on hold a bit. I've just kept it going, though. Do you know what I mean? I've made the best out of it. Like, I couldn't do it anymore. But, mate, the kids coming up, mate, like, what?
It's created a lot of uncertainty, and like you said as well, it's created a lot of divide with people.
Mate. The whole government, the whole system to divide us, bro.
It's
in every single way. And
thankfully, my mum and dad still can have differences but get along. But I know that some families or some friendship groups,
people, we can't. Yeah,
they will have a different view, and if you share a different view, that's over. Your relationship is over because you share a completely different view. And unfortunately, it's kind of what's happened here. You know, they've put something there, and it was like, I walked into a shop, right? That bag on the side, Harry's, had to go and change a pair of shoes. Lady there I've known for ages, Italian lady, very like, you know, outspoken, lovely lady, older than me. She came in, gave like an elbow nudge, and I was like, all right, fine. Fair. And as I was leaving, she went to do that, and I went, come on, let's have a hug. So I had a hug, and as I was going to leave, she was like, have you been vaccinated yet? And I went, well, no. And she was like, well, you should. And I said, I'm 35 years of age. I'm healthy. I'm fit. I eat clean. And if I were to get it, it's not going to affect me.
I would rather I'd rather catch COVID and let my body get the antibodies for it than get a laboratory thing. It's mad.
Manipulating your body.
It's mad, mate.
And again, it should be a choice. If people want it,
your body,
take
your
it.
Choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So... Oh mate, I'll go deep with it. I'll get deep with this stuff.
Oh no, me too.
It's sad, mate. It's sad. Like,
well, when my mum and dad come round, because it's quite comical because my mum's on one side and my dad's on the other. Well, and we stir the pot and we talk about it. And we have a bit of banter, you know. But
it's good because that generation, it's normally that generation was like the news, the you know, the patriotic, the real fan, like, everything like that. Do you know what I mean? So like, but I've asked to send my mum some mad stuff, and like, look, research. And I've kind of like, she's gone, cool, like,
it opens up people's eyes.
What is going on?
Yeah.
So don't go too deep, don't go down very well too deep, but just like know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're all trying to force her to get vaccinated. Well, she's like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Yeah.
So I've been everywhere, man. I was in Italy during the first lockdown. I went to Italy. Everyone, you can't travel. Me and Missy went to Italy. Apparently, it was the worst place. No one was wearing masks there. Everyone was sweet. We was partying. I was thinking, mate, what is going on? Like, what's...
It's they're overemphasising the very small minority that have got it bad and who might be passing away. And look, listen, my heart goes out to anyone who's ever lost anybody from any kind of illness.
All death's tragedy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, simple as that. But like,
come on, let's be real about it.
Hundreds of thousands. What about cancer? What about starvation?
Yeah,
what about all this?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So. Oh, mate, don't, mate. Well, I've had rows of people, mate. Honestly,
I know. I'm the same as you.
I can't, mate. I had it the other day. The joy is what I was just saying to you. This is what I'm saying, right? Because me and Missy we don't wear masks, which is our choice. We don't wear them, right? We're sweet. And we was in flannels, and two birds, the mouthy one. She walked past, went, "Oh, I don't understand why people don't wear masks." And I snapped, mate, and my missus snapped, mate, and I was like, "Fuck." So I said, I hope to the. So I was like, man, but I thought to myself, like these people, fair enough, if you believe in it or whatnot, you wear masks.
Stick to your own lane.
No, or just don't be a hypocrite because they're wearing a mask and that, but then they're around fucking loads of people walking around the shops. Me and Mrs. walk through Chinatown and everyone's outside eating. And there's no social distancing. Everyone's there. So it's like, everyone's just hypocritical. You go to the tube station, everyone's walking past each other, running past. I think to myself, you're all backwards, mate. Like, what's going on? Maybe cut this bit because people are going to like. But do you know what I'm saying though? Like,
listen, I'm
talking about. Get me? If you're gonna be on it and go, oh no, it's so bad, then live by the rules. Don't like. I had family members, right? Who they claim they're family members.
Don't do it when it suits you.
Yeah,
almost.
exactly. Going, oh no, you can't come back to the house. But then she's going about it. She's, I want to come visit. No, you're not coming to visit because you believe in it. So sorry.
Yeah.
What?
I was going to say this, right? So I go for a run, obviously every once or twice a week, just for a little plod, like this morning, and I do my normal route. I don't try and kill myself. It's just listening to a podcast and running, fresh air in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. I love it. And at the back end of my run, I run past Lidl's, and when the shopping supermarket, and during this lockdown. There's a queue and they're spaced out because of social distance and all that kind of stuff, and they've all got their masks on outside. Fair enough. I think it's funny, but fair enough. Anyway, this one geezer has got out the queue, I swear down to you, so he's gone from this wall to this wall, walked across, pulled out a cigarette and lit it up and started smoking. I wanted to go over to him and go, you've got more chance of dying from cancer from that cigarette than you ever will catching COVID and dying. And you got this poxy mask on.
I know, mate.
Come on, mate.
Mate.
It's like
it's so hypocritical. Like in a way. But then I look at it and I think to myself, if you actually take a step back, right, and you look at I feel like the government or whoever, the elites, whatever, looking down, and all these people walking around with masks when they're going, they're all controlled. We've got these people. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like literally, that's how many people honestly have bought into it.
So, and do you know what? Like so many people are losing so much good, valuable time with their friends, family, or in their career.
Like it's horrible. Like, but do you know what? I can't give them no sympathy. I actually can't. I actually can't. I really can't. Like I was looking at it, I was on Facebook and I was like, oh, this pandemic. I haven't seen my mum or my nephew or my kids for so long. I'm thinking, it's your family.
Just go and see him.
Go see him. Oh no, but I'll get arrested. It's not a law, mate. It's not a law. People forget their human rights. Yeah. People, this podcast should be some political thing. It's pretty changed, isn't it? But do you know what I mean? But people forget their human rights, mate.
Yeah, listen, I'm on the same page as you.
Freedom of speech is gone. Human rights, it's my life, mate.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain podcasts or certain people that put up their own view and stuff, and it gets taken down. I think that's, completely against people's freedom and views. Why would you do that?
Why are you hiding it? Why if it's not, why? There's always a reason. Do you know what I mean? So you can't. It's like it's mad.
We're in strange times. But look, just going back to let's say the boxing then. So you're with MTK
Global. Yeah.
Obviously I've seen this brand morph into this monster of a brand. It's really powerhouse. So what's it like working with that organisation?
Great, mate. MTK are doing great.
Do you go over to Marbella and train over there?
Nah, the gym's not in Marbella anymore. But I've been there. I was over there in
I saw Tyson Fury over there.
A few years ago. The weight, or
so I was on a friend of mine's yacht, a guy called Ozzy. He's got one of the largest care homes in the country, and he said to me, "Oh, Tyson Fury might come on the boat," and I was like, "Oh, wicked!" It never happened, but then when we went down for a run, we used to train every single morning. He was basically in the restaurant. I saw him down there, and then he was by the yacht, and I thought, it's really, really cool because it's the first time I ever got to really see him.
Did you speak to him or just see him?
No, he was loads of people around him, and I was going to.
It's hard though because they don't want to pester people.
Yeah,
and do you know what I mean? Because the amount of people that.
But I'm such a big boxing fan. I wanted to, but just didn't. But hopefully, one of my goals one day was to get him on the podcast.
Hey, we'll get you on one of the fights when he's there, mate. And we have to ask him.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Tag him up on here. You know what I mean?
So MTK. So how come you chose to work with them opposed to anybody else?
Do you know what? I had to sit down with a lot of managers, promoters, everything. Do you know what I mean? I made sure I viewed everyone. I didn't want to go with someone and go, I should have been. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to make sure I knew all the deals and the ins and outs and things like that. And for years I was advised. I got good friends in Dubai. They're over in Dubai, and they always said go with MTK. They're gonna take it over, mate. They are what they say they are. Do you know what I mean? And since being with them, mate, yes is a yes and no is a no. And it's as simple as that.
They're very black and white.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
There's no bullshit.
Yeah.
So, as simple as that. There's if they want to say something, and what day, it's getting sorted that day. I can't, mate. I can't. I've got a great team, mate. I really have a great team, great people. They get a bit of bad press, but listen, mate. We've all got a pass, simple as that.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, who cares, mate? We're all genuine people. They're boxing fans, like you said. They're boxing fans, mate.
Yeah.
The head man's boxing fan, and do you know what? The head man of MTK is a massive boxing fan, and at the end of the day, he's giving kids like myself and other people, working class, who had it hard, an opportunity to better our lives.
Yeah.
To make it to better ourselves, to break through.
They're authentic kind of people.
Yeah,
you
mate.
know.
Do you know what I mean? So don't get me wrong. I ain't gonna be like you gotta be delivering for them.
Yeah.
Doing well. Can't just be like lazing around and things like that. But I'm putting the work in for them. I do what I can, mate, to give back. And it's like 50-50. Do you know what I mean? It's simple as that. It's a team.
I was going to ask you. So I always ask this to anyone in a profession. Who is it you kind of has inspired you? You look up to anyone in your profession of boxing?
Do you know what? I never had an idol, mate. Never looked up to anyone, mate. No, never like that. Because I was always viewed people as normal, as equal.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, some people get starstruck and I always thought like fair play, he's worked hard and he's made his name, but people are like, no, but I always think he's just worked hard, mate.
Yeah.
Worked hard. So like I never really had that, but like what inspired me or what had probably gave me that like this like drive was I was in school and some boxers come to school, right? They sent some boxers to do a bit of do a bit of anger management stuff, pads and that, right? And I was a lost soul, mate. Like as a kid, I was showing no love to my parents and that. Like it was hard. It was hard times, man. And I kind of craved that love. I was quite vulnerable growing up. So like this geezer come to my gym, come to my school, was doing pads with me, and he was like doing pads, saying, "Oh, lovely, lovely." And I was looking at myself, "Are you alright, mate? Like, beautiful." And I thought to myself, I felt like I belonged somewhere, and I felt like I craved that love, man. I was just like, it's the first time I ever felt like this is what I should be doing. Do you know what I mean? And I got kicked out of school anyway, and I just said, "Look, I want to come to a gym and work, mate." And that was the first.
That was your calling.
That was my calling. That was the first choice I made that dictated my future. Because instead of going down the hill after school or me and the lads from school, I'll walk down the hill, I'll go rob people, I'll do some normal stuff you do with your lads, right? I started running up the hill, mate. Running up, get changed, go straight to the gym every single day, 4 o'clock to 8. And then I still get into a lot of trouble. Things are happening. Then he said, "Look," he said, "You got talent here, boy." He said, "Come with me, 10 till 10 every single day, Monday to Saturday." I just stayed and lived in the gym, bro, and it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me. It made me into a man. Like I lost all hate. Mate, I had so much hate growing up. I used to hate my dad. I used to hate my dad's family. I used to just, I don't know, but I released everything, bro. Like all I would do was love. Do you know what I mean? And like where I was like for so many years, man, I always thought love was weird. I used to see parents kiss their kids, and I was thinking, "Oh, that's weird." But now I think to myself, mate, that's what it's about. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So like,
do you want kids in that when you're older?
100%, bro.
Yeah, big family.
Mate, I'm a family man. Do you know what I mean? I can't wait. I actually can't wait. Obviously, when we're ready, but like I can't wait for that, mate. And like I got a nephew, right? And my nephew's like my boy. Like I love the kid, mate. Like I do everything with him. Absolutely everything. Like best kid, mate. Best kid. And like I think to myself, mate, when I have kids, mate, I can't wait. I actually can't wait. And like I'm like, listen, don't get me wrong. I like this. I like the party. I beef out. But on the real, when it comes to it, right, I'm happy, right, and content with being a bit financially free, nice house, loads of kids, good woman, little dog, whatever, in the country somewhere.
I mean, a couple of holidays and that, yeah.
I'm content, bro.
Yeah.
Content, because life's hard, mate. Life's hard, and I know how my life should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you bring up from the system and you're living with different families and things like that, mate, it's hard, mate. It's hard. Do you know what I mean? So like, I know how it is, man. I don't know, like, this is why I try make the most of this boxing and even podcasts. Like, for me, this is therapy because I speak about things, right? So that's why I thank you for having me, because it's like therapy for me. But this
vice versa, mate. It's the same for me.
But there's kids that can listen to this and things like that, and they go, "Mate, Jordan from the estate, mate, like if he can do it, because I want talented, mate. I want talented. I just worked hard, mate. I just stuck at it. That's what I've done. If he can do it, I can do it." And it gives them kids hope, mate. When you go to school and it's your teacher's telling you, "Do this, do that," they don't know the crack. They haven't been there. But when you got someone who's been through it, mate, been through it, like seeing things and then like been through the whole trauma and your friends getting shot and stabbed and your family getting abused, not like things after things, mate. You can go to these kids and go, "Do you know what, mate? Trust me." And they go, "Wow, man, I can do it." Do you know what I mean? It gives them a little bit, and that's what it's about, mate. It's about the next generation. Yeah. It really is. Do you know what I mean? And like setting the path for more. And that's what I'm all about, mate. And that's it, bro.
Powerful.
Because bro, life is hard, mate. It's hard, man. Hard, mate. And like, it's harder for us because we're trying to like do the impossible. We're trying to like reach these goals, mate. And it's like, could have done something easier, mate. I could be back home slinging gear around. It's easier, mate. Do you know what I mean? But like, it's like, yeah, this is us, mate.
What would you say that the main things are that get you up out of bed in the morning and make you work so hard in the gym?
Mate, I've made it discipline, mate. It's discipline equals freedom. I've disciplined myself so much. It don't even feel. I'm up at the crack of dawn, mate. I'm up early, mate. 6 a.m. every single day. Ice baths to start like my morning routines. Like, it's just driven, mate. I think like having all the stuff you go through, you can either use it to your negative and it brings you down to a deep hole. And my sister suffers mentally. If it's hard, mate, yeah, she suffers, right? Or you can go, you come out of this and you think, this is character building, mate. This is my mind. This is built pure resilience. All this trauma, all this stuff I've been through, it's built resilience, mate. I haven't been denied. Been there, done it, mate. Setbacks, things happen. Been there, mate. I've had it all my life. Had it all my life.
Yeah.
Just another day, mate.
So once you get to your goal and multiple goals, I've got no doubt that you're going to hit so many. What's life like after boxing? I know because you mentioned about business, so I want to talk to you about that. What do you want to achieve in business?
So what I'm doing, right, is early investing. Like every couple of fights, invest in property, right? I'm trying to be clever. I don't want to see money. I don't want to be flashy. I don't really care. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, it's so refreshing to hear that because well, when I started, when I was younger, when I was about, I would say I started making money about properly, like 24, 25 years of age. And don't get me wrong, I bought a few properties, but I bought the Lamborghini, the Ferrari, the watches and all that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, in a way it's good because I got it out of my system. But at the same time, if I would have ploughed that all into property or some kind of business, I'd be far wealthier than I am right now. Yeah. And now I'm trying to play catch up. I'm 35, so I've got time. Yes. But yeah, I mean, to hear you say that at 26, mate, fair play to you. You're going to be...
I need it, mate, because like this is like, boxing is a short career and things like that. So I make the most of it, job on the property, mate, invest. And then there's always, like, I do a lot of filming, mate. I've only had one fight, man. I've been asked to be on films. Do you know what I mean? Like featuring in films, things like that. So like, I like to go down that path as well because I do like the camera. I do like a bit of a character. I like it all, mate. I love it all.
Like being creative.
I mean? But creative. But I need something like, see, boxing is 24/7.
Yeah.
Discipline is making weight. I need after. Do you know what I mean? I need something which going to keep me occupied, mate. Otherwise, I'm a bit like.
Because I know Alfie was in a little bit of a role in Once Upon a Time in London. Is it?
Is it that? Yeah, it was in one of them.
Yeah, with Terry Stone.
That's the one. Yeah.
I interviewed Terry Stone as well.
I swear,
he's a good guy. So you like to do a bit of that?
100%, mate. 100%. Like that's my.
And loads of assets, property assets, but making you money.
Property's key, mate. Especially now, mate. We're gonna hit a recession.
So
people ain't gonna be able to afford.
Is that how you know Alfie?
I know Alfie. I booked his cousin twice.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I booked his cousin twice, and then what happened, mate? I just booked his cousin twice. He come and watched, and then
stayed in communication.
He must just always followed me. I didn't even know. He just always followed me, and then he messaged me. And we was all messaging, and then we just got on, mate. I've done a few sessions in the gym.
Lovely guy, isn't he?
Lovely geezer, mate. Down to earth, genuine, mate. Like if you didn't know him, right? If you actually, do you know what? That's what I like about people like him, right? If you didn't know him. You used to see him not like you wouldn't think that he's well off, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It wouldn't throw in your face.
Yeah, he's a genuine guy.
Just normal genuine geezer. And I think fucking fair play to him, mate. Because I know some lads who hardly got anything, mate, or got a bit of dough, but mate, it's like chuck in your face, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? So like, I like things like that. But I think fair play. Do you know what I mean? And like it's not like he's just It's not like Alfie's just sitting there going because realistically, he probably could just be sweet off his dad, right?
Of course, yeah.
Mate, the geezer's...
He hustles.
He's hustling, mate. He's making new investments, new ventures. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. I'm all about that. Anyone goes, do you know what, I've got a little venture. I like seeing him, I think, fair play. All the best, mate, because it's hard, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But I love a little venture. I think fair play, mate. It's class.
So you got your fight hopefully in June.
Yeah.
And then how many times are you looking to fight this year?
I would like 3 fights this year. And then my contract is supposed to be 4 to 6 every year. So... yeah, I'll be happy to get a toll in my 3rd or 4th fight, mate. Southern Air toll. But I see what really want to get me down to because I can sell this and all what I want. MTK, they obviously, listen, they've got big plans, mate. They've got big plans and his titles are there.
Yeah.
Big fights domestically. So
I was good. I always quite intrigued by this next question when I ask boxers. not a fight, but when you spar, is there anyone that you've ever gone into a gym where you had to spar someone really good and you thought, yeah, they are tasty? Anyone that you can think about, or you would like to say, or
do you know what?
or someone that you thought was going to be tasty and you done them?
Do you know what, mate? See, as a kid, right, I was about 19, 20. I used to be on the road, bro. Like, that's where the Wanderer name come from. On the Wanderer, mate, because I used to wander everywhere. Like, mate, I went to James DeGale, George Groves, Josh Taylor.
I watched George Groves spar once when he was at Adam Booth. He's unbelievable.
I say about, I was an amateur, so I was like, bam, 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 I was thinking, mate, boom. I thought to myself, mate, that was his left hand. His left hand was like a backhand. I thought to myself, I can't get caught with that, mate. Heavy-handed. But, like, these fighters, your Josh Taylors, your Groves, your DeGales, I went to the Vegas gym, then I went to the doghouse, then they stuck me in the doghouse. I sparred Andrews to beat all them, like, they've all, when you get to a level, everyone's got their own attributes. So it's not fair to go, everyone's got their own thing where they go, well, like George, like his jab, his left hand.
Like a spear. Bang.
Naughty, mate. Naughty. I was like, mate, I ain't getting caught again. No chance. Then you got James DeGale, his agility, he's athletic, do you know what I mean? His work rate, things like that. And you got Josh Taylor. I was like, lightweight. I was like, mate, strong, sharp, mate, like, you can't switch off with him, like, yeah, it's mad, mate. I've been in, like, do you know what? I tell you what, right? GB, when you're on GB and you travel the world, you spar the best, mate, because you fighters no one would ever know of, because you go to Russia. I done a camp in Kazakhstan for 2 weeks, and some of the lads out there, mate, different level, mate.
Yeah.
Like, we get a bit hungry, we go to the shop, get a bit of chocolate, mate. They got to go to the farm, mate. They got, do you know what I mean? They got to hunt for their food, mate. It's different mentality there. Strong, tough lads. So there's lads out there, mate. I've boxed now for themselves, mate. Hope you're not my weight when I turn pro. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Savages, mate. Russians, Ukrainians, mate. Savages. And do you know what? You see all these come through and you think to yourself, I remember telling my uncle about Lomachenko music. Nah, not of him. He's an amateur. He's only an amateur. I was like, but now my uncle understands, because he used to spar the guy. He was like, oh, nah, you're an amateur. He takes it easy. And he see me have a spar. I took him down. He was like, cool, mate. He was like, there's no holding back. I was like, no, it's proper, mate.
Yeah.
This is the game. And I was telling him about Usyk and Loma and things like that. Coming through. I said, trust me. He's like, nah, they're amateurs. He's had 400 amateur fights. I said, wait, mate, biggest fan of them now. He said, mate, unbelievable. Said, it's different. But now he's into the amateur boxing, because you can see them all coming through. And you see the talent, mate.
Yeah.
Like, some of these lads don't even turn pro because they just get looked after by their own country. But Kazakhstan, Russia, Ukrainian, these Eastern European countries, get some special fighters, mate.
Solid people.
Solid, bro. Solid, like. Just I can't even explain, mate. You have to.
A bit like motionless as well. Some of the Russians.
It's mad, man. I'm like, you're right. He's like, yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy, honestly. Someone wants to kill me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so I was like, sit like, you know what I mean? So I sing this lad, like, we're just like, I'm in there, short, they're all just like, alright. You know what I mean? It's different, mate. It's different. So,
Well, look, I know you probably got to go off and do some training and stuff, mate, and you've probably got a whole routine laid out in front of you, so I appreciate your time. Where can people find you if they want to follow your journey?
Listen, just Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, J Reynolds Boxing. Follow me with that, mate.
Yeah.
J Reynolds Boxing, yeah.
Please keep me in mind when you fight, sure. Any of your fights. I'd love to come along, maybe with Alfie as well. That'd be great.
Yeah, we do a catch up. Catch up after the fight and this.
Yeah,
man. It's been a journey, isn't it?
I'd love to even come and train with you one time.
We'll do it.
Yeah,
bring Alfie, mate. We'll do a little thing together.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. That'd be perfect. I always ask this last question. It was a sort of a catchphrase type mantra that I came up with when I first got into sales. When I was 24, I set up my first sales company, and it goes like this: be happy, never content. Yep. I've got my own interpretation, but if I were to ask you, Jordan Reynolds, what is your interpretation of be happy, never content?
Be happy, I don't know, mate. Be happy, not content.
Be happy, never content.
I don't know, mate. That's horrible, mate. That's nice.
Well, my I'll give you a clue. What my interpretation of it is: I'm happy for the ups and downs of life, and I'm happy with what I've achieved, but I'm never content with what I've done. I always want to do more.
I'm the same, but I'm never literally never satisfied, mate. No, I'm actually not. Like, I could do so well, mate. Like my debut, I'm like, right, that's just the beginning now, mate. There's no point getting No point me going, oh, I've done it. That's it, man. This is the
Yeah.
start. So, yeah, be happy. But yeah, like I've said, I'll never say. Yeah, I'm the same, mate. I'm not satisfied until I'm where I want to be.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry about that. I ruined that video, but
No, it's all good.
But like this year, fucking, I'm the same, bro.
Wicked.
Like, yeah.
Well, thank you for your time, mate.
Pleasure, brother.
I'm going to do a little picture, and this comes out. This is going to be out by the time people listen to this. So please comment, share, tell your friends and family, and definitely watch out for this man because I know he's got a bright future ahead of him. Be happy, never content, and nice one for listening.
Yeah, legend, man.
Cool.
Sweet.